Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. So today I'm going to continue the series of videos I started last time actually, which I hadn't necessarily intended to do, but I thought I'd run the next one straight off, which is the top 4 turn-based games I've played on PlayStation. As I said in the last video, I have played loads of turn-based games on PC as well via Steam, and these 4 would trump any of them. Well, they're all available on Steam as well, but these 4 would be the ones I pick against all turn-based games I've played, and I've played an awful lot of turn-based games over time. I'd say I've probably got a better pick in my possibilities from turn-based games than if I decided to pick RPGs, because there's billions of RPGs out that I've not played, of course. But turn-based, yeah, I've kind of searched out many, because it's a genre that's not, especially on PlayStation, there's not millions of them. So it's something that I've played all the ones that I found are any good anywhere, really. So today you'll probably recognise this game if you've watched this channel before, or maybe anyway. This is Necromunda Underhive Wars, and I've talked about this game many times on this channel. I've played it many times, and I'm going to, because it's a video about the top 4 turn-based games that I've played, I'm going to say some of the same things again, but that's fine, because I think this game doesn't ever actually, when you watch anything on YouTube about best turn-based games, and it can be the best 20 or something like that, this never features ever. All the other games I'm going to talk about feature regularly. This one never does, and I think that's really unfair. It's a game I'll always go to bat for. It's a bit like my turn-based Watch Dogs Legion, where I think it doesn't get the respect and the appreciation it should, because firstly I think it's incredibly well done. I think it looks great. I think that the game has a really good art style. The characters are really detailed. You couldn't think of any game that I'm going to talk about in this list, or including any other turn-based game I've ever played, where the characters are this detailed. Even XCOM 2 doesn't really come close, I don't think. So it's a great game for detail. The environment looks exactly right for what it is. The characters look really good, so that's number 1. And that's an important thing, because people often worry about stuff like that. It's not my top thing in any game, but yeah, it's a part of all games. So the fact this game has easily got RPG level graphics in the characters, I think that's a big thing. So that's number 1. Number 2, it's got absolutely tons of customization options. So which I can't show you now because we're in an actual battle, and I had to decide whether to come into a battle or whether to do it in the main menu, and if I come out the menu it's going to take too long to go through all the bits and pieces, and that's not the point of this video. But there's tons and tons of customization. So if you look at this character here, you can change every single thing about them. You can change their head shapes, and you can change their clothing, you can change their get-up, you can change their the colour of all their clothing, you can change different parts of the colour of all their clothing. You can't really see the colour of the clothing in this mission, because where I am it's kind of dark, but you can change them. You can have them as dark colours, bright colours, pinks and reds mixed, and you can customise all your gang to have the same colours or different colours because of what they do, or because one's a leader. You can do whatever you want. So that's number 2. Number 3, which I have said many times about this game as well, there's tons and tons of weapons options. There's absolutely millions and millions of different weapons, different types of weapons, and different levels of each weapon. There's also little mod things. There's loads of things you can pick up that mod your weapons, mod your character, buffs, debuffs, everything. Tons and tons of it. And I think that's very cool as well. And lots of games don't have that. XCOM 2, which is the last game I talked about on this list, doesn't have that. It's it's got a very kind of, yeah, you can mod your weapons, but it's got this is that weapon and that's how it is. You don't get different. If you pick up a shotgun in XCOM 2, it's a shotgun. Yes, you can mod it, but each shotgun you pick up is the same shotgun to start with. This has got different grades of every single weapon. There's tons of different weapons. They all do different things. There's loads of different specialisations for your gang. So again, I think it's very, very good. And there's just so many different things to do. I'm not paying much attention to what I'm doing in this, but I'm talking. So anyway, so yeah, there's just tons of bits to do. Next, which I'll say because I've mentioned it and I'm showing you now, is how the levels are in this. And I think, and again, having played many turn-based games, there's no question in my mind that this is the most interesting type of map you can get in a turn-based game. There are many turn-based games that have very limited maps actually, especially some of the ones on Steam where they have very small areas you're fighting in. There's turn-based games where you're fighting in little groups against the people standing in front of you, which I've said that they're CRPG kind of things, which I don't really like. And there's games like XCOM 2, which has got quite a large area you're fighting in, but it's on one or two levels. Yes, you can go up on top of buildings, but this gives another depth to that kind of idea, because you've not only got this multi-faceted and multi-leveled area, you've got characters that can grapple and they can use all these zip lines everywhere. So you've got a whole extra thing that even XCOM 2 doesn't have. And when you're playing in this environment, there's so many different things you can do, different ways you can get to places, different ways you can get to kill your enemies, different ways you can hide. It's just really good. The one thing I wish this game did have with it would have a stealth option, so you could have that kind of XCOM thing where you'd have one gang member that hasn't been found yet, but I'm being nitpicky because it's not that kind of game, but it would just be one extra thing that would be great if you could have, like, because there are kind of snipery rifles in this, if you could have a soldier or a gang member that hadn't been discovered when you start the game that could hide somewhere, that would be good, because this game, because of the way the levels are, it's absolutely geared to having that kind of someone hiding somewhere in a very high place. In some places, there's, this hasn't got it actually, there's sometimes an area high up on a map where you can only get to if you've got a grapple or if you've got a zip line. You can't get there any other way, so no one can ever get to you, so that's good. So let's just end there and let them come and shoot us. So yeah, that's really good. And the combat is super fun. I will say that the each mission, battle, whatever you want to call it in this game, does take quite a while. The guns sound good as well, by the way. Does take quite a while. It's not a quick mission game. You can't just do these in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or anything like that. They do take a long time because of the size of the area. And you've always got quite a large gang, so you've got 5 gang members as well, so you've got to move 5 different people, they've got to move 5 different gang members, and in many cases, which is another good thing about this game, you've got multiple gangs in the same battle. This one's just got 2, but I've played with 4, and so it can take a long time. So it's not a turn-based game you can just get into a mission and do it quickly. It does take a lot of time and you can't save during missions. That's not a negative, it's just a thing to bear in mind. But again, it's really fun. You just have to divert the time to play a whole mission. And you know it's going to take 45 minutes sometimes. Maybe more, maybe a little bit less. So anyway, that is what it is. And like I said, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing at all in this. So. But yeah, you can see there, because the light's better here, you can see the different colours I've got on this gang member. She's got green hair, and that's probably, I can't remember, that's probably because I gave her green hair because I thought it looked cool, and I've definitely customised the colours that she's got and the grey colour, and I could change that straight away and do different things. There's different accessories to their faces, different ear studs and nose studs and chin straps and everything. So many different, you can change all their clothing to different things, and so yeah, there's loads of different bits and pieces you can change around. So it's a great game, it's a fantastic game, as a turn-based game, and how it plays and how it looks, I don't think I've found anything else that's equivalent. I honestly don't think there's anything that I can say that, yeah, that was equally impressive, equally in depth. There's as much different things you can do in the gameplay. So why is it number 3? And the reason it's number 3 is the reason I've stated when I've made videos about this game before, and it's the only reason that I wouldn't put this as number 1 actually. It's because the missions don't link to the story, and that is it is what it is. I like the game, I love the game, but yeah, it's the one thing that will make this game flow really well, because it ends up being like an arena game where you're going into missions to do a kind of arena fight, and then you come back, almost like an extraction shooter. Well, it is exactly that actually, where you come back to your base and you can like sort out your gear and sell stuff and equip new stuff and heal. But because the story is linked to a separate thing where you use just the characters the story gives you, the gang your story gives you. If I went into the story now, which is a separate thing completely, you just get to play as a random gang that isn't your gang. When you're playing in the missions, you're playing as the gang you create, and I think that's honestly, I think that's a mistake. I don't know why they've done it like that. Maybe it's because it's easier, I don't know. But if you're playing in any game, whether it's a turn-based game or an RPG, and you're playing with a gang you create or character you create, you want to do the story with that gang or that character too. Even if it's something like Witcher 3, which I did on this channel recently, where you're sometimes playing as Ciri. You know Ciri, you already know who that is, you're familiar with her, and if you have to do a few missions playing as Ciri, that's fine. But you don't want to play any game, whether it's a turn-based or a strategy, RPG, whatever it might be, where you're suddenly playing as a completely different character or completely different gang. And that's what happens in this. If I went in to play as the main story now, I'd just be a different gang that I'm not aware of. Number 1, I think that's really, well, to be honest, it's rubbish, because why would you suddenly want to play as another gang when you've built up your own gang, you know your own gang? And secondly, it's actually kind of hard, because it takes quite a while, and like I said, there's tons of customizations and different things different gangs do, and there's 3 or 4 different gangs in this, depending on whether you've got DLCs. That each gang member, like this particular one, Iman, she will have different things, different stats, different things she can do, different things she's good at, different weapons, different things she's got on her, as in things she can use, buffs and debuffs, grenades. They'll all have different things that you'll become familiar with, and even much more so than XCOM 2, because in XCOM 2 you'll have a sniper who's got a sniper gun and one other thing, maybe a grenade, and you've got maybe a ranger who's got stealth or something like that. But in this, each person is very, very individual. They have many, many different bits and pieces, different weapons that are very different. So if you just go into another gang to play the story, where number 1, it's not your gang, and number 2, you don't know how to play any of those gang members and you're frustrated away into the story, it's actually not easy and not fun. I've played the story a little bit, I did it a little bit on this channel just to show you, but I'm not going to bother because I just don't care, to be honest. And that's sad. Because if this game all linked together with the story and you could use your own gang, it would be perfect. And it's pretty good anyway. So like I said, I think this is a fantastic game. I always despair when I watch things, and there's many things on YouTube where there's 20 best turn-based games, and all the other games are going to mention this, and all the other games I've played that are turn-based usually turn up in these lists, but this never does, ever, and I don't know why. Because I don't know, other than the thing I mentioned, which it's a gripe, and it's a big gripe actually, there's nothing else wrong with this. There's little bits of bugs, you get a little bit of sometimes you get stuck in little things, but I've never had a crash. It's pretty free-flowing, and compared to most games, you know, XCOM crashes all the time, so this is nothing like XCOM. And XCOM characters get stuck in things, and so I don't know why this game doesn't get more love and more respect and get nominated more for great turn-based games. But yeah, it would definitely be my number 3, and barring the reason I said, it would be my number 2. But over time, yeah, when you're just coming into a game to do arena missions, extraction arena missions, which is what these end up being, and you're not playing any story, just leveling up your gang over and over again, it does become a little bit tedious. So it's a game you play for a while. I don't mean a while like an hour, I mean for days and days, and then you'll think, okay, I've done enough of that now, I've leveled up my gang a bit, but do I keep wanting to just do the same missions, even if they're slightly more difficult missions? And you do level up the levels of missions you do, and the level of the gangs you fight against, and how many gangs you fight against, but you're still just doing that kind of arena extraction mission. Anyway, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming. This is Necromunda Underhive Wars. Till next time, take care for now.